It's rare in Cambridge for a student to be charged with a crime for something that happened in school, just 10 times in the past 4 years. But child advocates say it is a scenario unfolding far too often elsewhere in the state, feeding students into what they call the school to prison pipeline.
In many towns and communities, students of color are suspended at a much higher rate than their white peers.
We see students of color, Black and Latino students, who end up being punished at a much more drastic level.
A sampling of records reviewed by the I-Team found the rate of out-of-school suspensions in Arlington is 2.8% for Black students and 0.7% for white. In Barnstable, 4.9% of Black students received out-of-school suspensions, while only 2% of white students were kept out of class. Boston, it's 3.5% for Black and 1.2% for white. And in Norwood, the rate of school suspensions for Black students is 6.5% and 1.5% for white kids.
My name is Deb Silva. I'm the Executive Director of the Massachusetts Appleseed Center for Law and Justice.
I'm Maddie Pogue, and I'm the Director of Development and Communications at the Massachusetts Appleseed Center for Law and Justice.
My name is Sheila Bonafé, and I'm a Managing Principal at Edgeworth Economics.
My name is Stephanie Chang, and I'm a Principal Consultant at Edgeworth Economics.
I'm Katya Twal, and I'm a Managing Consultant at Edgeworth Economics.
My name is Kim Krewald, and I am the Director of Marketing and Communications at Edgeworth Economics.
A few years before we decided to work on this report, we worked on another collaborative report with other Appleseed centers looking at just the data related to girls of color and school discipline rates. And we discovered that in Massachusetts, Black girls are 4 times more likely to receive exclusionary discipline as compared to their white counterparts. So we decided to draft a report looking at the stories of young girls, or young women and girls of color in Massachusetts schools. But we wanted to still maintain a component that looked at the numbers, because we felt like, girls of color have been sort of having these experiences and being told, that they're unique, that their experience is unique, and we wanted to be able to support their experiences and support them by showing that, this is happening across the board in Massachusetts. And so we reached out to Edgeworth because we didn't have anybody on staff who could do that kind of data analysis. We had a big file of data that we were able to get from the State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, but we really didn't know what to do with that data and how to make it accessible, and that's why we reached out to Edgeworth.
Since our founding, pro bono work and giving back to our community, both our local and broader community, has always been an important value of the firm, and is something that we have been involved in ever since we were founded in 2009. This particular project with Massachusetts Appleseed was just so interesting to us because it is such an important issue. Looking at school discipline amongst different groups within the state and the impact of that.
We approached this by first beginning with establishing our central question in our audience. So Appleseed determined that they're most interested in which Massachusetts school districts had the greatest and least racial disparity in discipline rates. So as we progressed our analysis, we noted additional insight that could be useful, like breaking this down by gender and other student characteristics that the data provided.
It is very useful to have this interactive dashboard that we created for Massachusetts Appleseed, which provides a very dynamic visualization of the different statistics that used to evaluate the student disparities in terms of, or in relation to the school discipline in terms of their gender, their race, and other socioeconomic characteristics.
As we've gone around and presented the report's findings to different organizations and individuals and groups across the state, we've been able to really drill down and show them like what exactly is happening in their own local districts.
I think for us, going into the project, we sort of knew why we were doing it, and so we sort of maybe expected what we found. But I think one of the things that's been really nice to see is the excitement that other people who didn't have access to the data can finally see those numbers.
So we created a visualization that offers the analyses for policymakers, but also a clear and accessible way for, say, a student wanting to learn more about their home district.
Throughout the project, Edgeworth has just been an unbelievable partner. First of all, just donating so much of their time and expertise, when they, I know, have plenty of other work that they needed to be paying attention to as well. We don't have anyone on staff that has that expertise, and we wouldn't have been able to really portray the data in a way that is user-friendly if we weren't able to have that partnership.
We've had a long-standing partnership with the Appleseed Network, and it is something where we've been able to collaborate on a variety of issues and do some really interesting and rewarding work.
Working with Massachusetts Appleseed was a really great opportunity for me. This was actually the first project that I managed. So it was, for me, growing professionally, being able to have the opportunity to manage a team, work with clients, grow in that way was really helpful. And I think that's one of the really great things about working on these kind of projects is, not only are we able to do something that really helps the community and help in that way, but it also is a benefit to us. It is a way that we can kind of stretch our skills even more. And so I am really grateful for the opportunity and really happy with the work that we did.
Working with Massachusetts Appleseed was a great experience for us. They are such a wonderful group to work with. They're very collaborative, helpful, accommodating of our time, and just easy to work with. So it is our great honor to have this opportunity to participate in a project that is relevant and has a great impact to the community.
One of the really amazing parts of the project that, as I mentioned, was made possible because of Edgeworth and their ability to take the data, break it down, and make it, visually engaging and accessible and able to be used by anyone, is that it's not just a tool for advocates and policymakers, but parents and students can also use it. And I know when we held a virtual report launch for the report, and then we also shared the data dashboard. And I just remember parents in the chat and coming off of mute to say, I'm sending this to the superintendent now.
We're right now working with a couple of different school districts specifically. And again, it was, we're able to point out to them and show them exactly what the disparities are in their districts, again, using multiple kinds of intersectional analyses. And, it's really opened their eyes, and they've really, wanted to come to the table and do something about it.
Participating in projects like this and partnering with organizations like Appleseed gives our professionals the opportunity to contribute their skills in a different way, to apply the things that they do on a daily basis, to make an impact in our communities and to make a difference. And this is something that we're really proud of.